You don't need any thrust, just let it glide. Brauchste kein Gas, lass ausschießen. That's probably one of the most famous sentences I remember from watching PilotsEye TV or just Planes videos, and I've watched a lot of them when I was young. Now, let's see what's behind it. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today I'm going to look at the PilotsEye TV episode in the LTU Airbus A330 approaching and landing in Male on the Maldives. The landing has been uploaded by Aviation Hub to YouTube, so let's have a look at it and let's analyze what's actually happening that led to the sentence I've just quoted. Let's go.
Gut, dann zum Approach Briefing. Jetzt einmal auf der Chart 10-2 Alpha, Effekte vom 27. November 2003. Wir erwarten die LTU Bravo Arrival. Minimum Sector Altitude gesehen von Male VOA. Wir haben nur Wasser drumherum, ist 1500 Fuß. Die Bahn selber ist 3200 Meter lang. Nach der Threshold haben wir dann immer noch auf der Runway 18 3100 Meter. Und wir haben auch eine Papi, die wir auf der linken Seite erwarten. Ansonsten zusätzlich dann werde ich dann noch Full Reverse benutzen.
Gut.
Hast du noch was Spezielles? Habe ich was vergessen?
Nein.
Alles klar.
Keine Fragen.
Alright, that's the approach briefing for the approach towards Male. I'm not sure if there's been anything cut out, but I would say that's a pretty compact briefing, isn't it? By the way, I apologize for the video itself being in German, but the English subtitles are enabled for you to read along if you don't understand German. So, let's go ahead.
So, wir sehen jetzt hier auf 4 auf der linken sowie nach vorne raus die ersten Atolle und die ersten kleinen Inseln. Und wir werden noch etwa 30 Minuten bis zur Landung brauchen.
Verehrte Damen und Herren, nochmal eine kurze Information aus dem Cockpit. Auf der linken Seite jetzt die ersten Inseln des Nordmale-Atolls zu erkennen. Wir werden in 5 Minuten unseren Sinkflug beginnen. Aktuelles Wetter jetzt plus 32 Grad Celsius, vereinzelte Bewölkung, wie es auf der linken und rechten Seite zu sehen ist. Und es ist immer noch mit einzelnen Wärmegewittern zu rechnen. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, the latest information about Male weather. Now plus 32 degrees, few clouds, as you can see on your left and right hand side, and there are also some short thunderstorms on the vicinity of Male. Now on the left hand side you can see the first island of the Male Atoll. Thanks for listening.
It's really a beautiful sight, isn't it? I really can't wait to have that myself one day and fly to Male. It's really one of those dream destinations that you want to get to once in your life.
Presently 115. I call you 341 established, LTU 730.
So Male is a non-radar environment, or at least it used to be in the day where this was recorded, around 2003, 2004 if I'm not mistaken. And back then they had to rely on position reports from the pilots.
Da unten sieht man jetzt auch sehr schön die kleinen Inseln und hier vorne, das ist ein großes Atoll hier, sehr schön zu sehen. LTU 730 is coming up established, radial 341 inbound, stand by for further descent.
730 descend 8,000 feet, QNX 1011, report passing flight 300.
Wo runter?
11.000 habe ich verstanden.
We cleared 11,000 feet, confirmed 11,000 and call you out of 300, LTU 730.
730, negative, descend 8,000 feet, QNX 1011, report passing flight 300.
Down 8,000 feet, 1011 and call you out of 300, LTU 730.
So a classical case of misunderstanding in case one of the pilots is talking, or one of the air traffic controllers is talking with an accent. Happens all the time, I tend to say. And in that case, they did the right thing. They asked him, please confirm. And nowadays, by the way, if you're interested, we would no longer read back what we thought we understand and ask him to confirm, but instead we would just go, please confirm cleared level, so that there is no confirmation bias with air traffic control. That actually happens quite a lot when you ask them, when they tell you something like, for example, descent flight level 240, and you would reply descent 240 confirm. They would probably just answer affirm because they thought that you said the right thing, while maybe actually you haven't, or while maybe actually they misunderstood what you've been saying. So if you ask them, please confirm cleared level, then they have to say it all on their own again to avoid confirmation bias.
That looks good.
Yep.
Hier links. Fantastico. Wunderschön hier.
Oh yes, I couldn't agree anymore.
Nothing.
Lovely.
Okay, das ist QNH.
QNH 1011.
Cross-checked und wir haben 11.200.
Check, approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Briefing.
Ist confirmed.
ECAM status.
Ist checked.
Seatbelts.
On.
Barrow.
QNH 1011 set.
1011 is set and MDA.
MDA is 380 set.
380 set. Engine mode selector.
Norm.
Completed.
Danke.
Delta in down from Royal Island, maintaining 5,500 feet. Victor at 12. Royal Island, Victor taking 10.
This 130, good morning, sir. Center 10 degrees 05 knots, QNH 101, report established final for runway 18.
Okay, established final 18 and the QNH 1011, LTU 730.
Center 730, report your DME.
Present DME 17. Hier sieht man sehr schön das Male-Atoll, riesig groß. Seht ihr das von den Inseln?
So they are rather low right now, definitely below 10,000, and the captain is giving stories on the islands they're flying to.
Hier ganz hinten rumgehen und hier wieder, das ist also das Male-Atoll, nennt sich das. Und wir sind jetzt im Inneren des Atolls. Da drüben ist Außenatoll und nach diesen Inseln, die da vorne sind, die großen, ist auch Außenatoll.
So, Track FPA. First idle of descent.
So, judging by what they've just said, track and FPA, it looks to me like they are actually not flying the approach in approach mode, but attempt to fly it using the raw data and using the and commanding the track of the aircraft and the flight path angle manually rather than using the FMC's raw data.
Da vorne kann man sehr schön Male City sehen.
The captain is again looking out,
Da drüben. Das ist
entertaining
die Insel, wo die Stadt
the
auch-
audience at the cameras.
Flaps 1.
Speedcheck. Ich würde am Final gehen. Ich gehe am Final.
Ja, bin schon dabei. Turner.
Weil so bist du Offset.
Okay.
Die Runway ist weiter links.
Okay.
Do you have the runway
Ich
inside?
hab
So they are just about turning onto the final approach, and since it is an offset approach, the captain is directing the first officer to actually leave the published approach course straight away and instead fly visually onto the extended runway centerline, while they are, at the moment at least, still quite a way out.
everything inside.
Machen ein bisschen Line-Up auf die Runway 18. Wir sind
Okay.
visually. Da drüben
And just to correct the subtitles here, the captain just said, let's make a visual lineup. Let's fly this visually.
Sieht man jetzt sehr schön die Stadt Male und links ist der Airport. Mittlerweile ist das ein Riesenareal geworden. Das sind ja auch die ganzen die Wasserflugzeuge, die fliegen hier. Ne?
Gut.
Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. Genau, machen Line-Up.
Ja.
LTU A330 service in 210 degrees 07 knots. Clear to land runway 18.
Roger, clear to land 18, LTU 730.
Flaps 2.
Speed check, flaps 2.
So this looks interesting. It's very hard to judge distance over the water, but it looks to me like they are quite high right now. And they are not really aligned 100% with the runway yet. The runway seems to be this one over here. So right now they are kind of in the middle of everything, it seems to me. But let's see where this is going.
Gut, dann nehme ich jetzt alles raus und mache dann Visual. Ist das okay für dich?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, dann geht jetzt Auto Thrust raus, Autopilot geht raus. Dann Manage Speed bitte. Flight Directors off.
Oh, what's going on there?
Gear down.
Okay, that was a lot of things happening very quick. Let's just go back.
Gut, dann nehme ich jetzt alles raus und mache...
Okay, so now they are disconnecting the automatics.
Dann Visual. Ist das okay für dich?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, dann geht jetzt Auto Thrust raus, Autopilot geht raus.
Now look at the pitch.
Dann Manage Speed bitte.
Speed
Flight
is
Directors
managed.
off.
Flight director off.
And what's happening right now? Look at how he significantly pitched the aircraft down the moment he disconnected the autopilot. And at the same point, he turned off the flight directors, so he went into a complete visual approach. Now let's see where this is going.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Gear down straight away. That seems rather early to me.
2,500.
Okay, 2,500, so they extended the gear just before that. Well, okay, that might actually be normal under some operators' SOPs, so forget what I just said.
Radio activity live.
Cross check. Flaps 3.
Speed check, flaps 3.
Weren't they rather fast?
So 5 DME 1390. Too high correcting.
Okay, hold on a moment. 5 DME? The radio altimeter just said 2,500. Wait a moment.
2,500.
7 minutes 30, 2,500. No, we've been somewhere over here.
Flaps 3.
Speed check, flaps 3.
So 5 DME 1390. Too high correcting.
Okay, so around 22 seconds after the 2500 call, they're at 5 DME, and I have to correct the subtitle here. He said 1390, that's 1390. So that's the target altitude where they are supposed to be, I guess, because they could never ever have descended like 1,200 feet in 20 seconds on final approach. So at 5 DME the target is probably 1390, and he says too high correcting. And this is looking very high as well, by the way.
Set missed approach altitude 3000 feet.
3,000 cents.
Flaps full.
Speed check, flaps 4.
What's this? That looks like he's actually pitching down like 5 degrees or something. And it's very hard to see because there is nothing zoomed in on the displays, but it looks to me like he's at the upper range of the speed as well. So this looks like he's really high right now, trying to get back into profile.
Landing checks.
Landing checklist
Cabin crew.
is advised.
Hardware thrust.
Is off.
ICA memo.
Landing no blue.
Completed.
Danke. Speed is checked.
Speed is checked,
yes,
so he's
no problem.
probably going very fast. Captain says yes, no problem.
Rein und dann
Ja.
lasst ihr ausschießen.
Get her down on glide and let the speed bleed off. Okay. Oh,
1000.
Checked.
okay, that's 1000 at 830. And at 730 they've been in 2500. So right now they're descending with an average of 1500 feet per minute. That is a very quick descent over here.
Sync rate correcting.
No problem.
Oh, now they say it themselves.
Okay.
Alles wunderschön.
The captain keeps going like, just let it lose the speed.
Ganz gut. Sehr schön. Brauchen wir kein Gas. Lass sie ausschießen.
Okay, alles klar.
Don't need thrust, just let it bleed it off. That doesn't seem right below 1000 feet. Now they are in VMC, so depending on the rules of the airline, the stabilized approach gate is probably going to be 500 feet then. But it seems to me like they are very high, and probably very high on speed as well, as they are just discussing the speed, and the captain keeps saying, just keep the speed, just keep the thrust in idle. So that looks like they are currently really high on energy, both in terms of the speed and the altitude.
100 above.
Checked. Landing.
Okay, so we're 100 above the minimum here. Let's actually just view that again. When did he say that he doesn't need any thrust?
Ganz gut. Sehr schön. Brauchen wir kein Gas. Lass sie ausschießen.
Okay, alles klar.
845.
Hundred above.
Checked.
855, 100 above, so they're very close to the minimum already.
Minimum.
Landing.
Checked. Straight ahead. Wir kommen in den Slope
Check.
rein.
300.
We're coming into the slope. 300, you don't need any throttle. Okay, that's not right. Now, the stabilized approach gate might, in the lowest case, have been 500 feet. And the captain is emphasizing that they don't need any thrust, and that they are just about entering the slope. That does not look right to me.
Kein Gas. Lass sie ruhig rein.
Okay, alles klar.
Sagt er, die 100 holen wir wieder rein.
Okay.
200.
Schön runter auf die Threshold. Ja,
Okay.
wunderbar.
100.
And now they're entering the puppies at 100 feet.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 8.
Ground spoilers.
Okay. I'm going to pause this here. So, I think I know where that statement, Brauchste kein Gas, lass ausschießen, came from. So, the whole approach, they've been pretty high. And for the whole approach, they did not need any thrust. Now that is not right. In my airline, just like, by the way, in pretty much any airline, it is a stabilized approach criteria that you have to have a proper thrust setting when passing the gate, just like you have to be on path. Or you can be 3 wides on the puppies, but not 4 wides. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but to me it looks like they actually busted the landing gate in here. It would have been very nice to see any recording from the inside showing the instruments here, but I do have a feeling that I know why there is none. And why the only inside perspective they have shown is actually the zoomed out perspective, where you are not able to read any of the instruments. But let's go ahead and try to figure something out here, simply by going over the times when the aircraft is saying certain altitude callouts. So we've said earlier on, from 730 to 830, they've covered 1,500 feet vertically. So that's an average descent rate of 1,500 feet a minute. And they said that they were fast. Then let's go ahead. 830, they are at 1000. What's the next hint we can get? It didn't play a 500 call, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't say the minimum either. So, what can we get there? That looks like something, judging by the
Minimum.
subtitle.
Landing.
Checked. Straight ahead, wir kommen in Slow
Check.
Lines.
300.
Okay, 300, that's at 9 minutes and 8. So that's 38 seconds for 700 feet. That's a... Hold on, I'm just typing that into a calculator. That's 1,100 feet a minute. And they must have passed the landing gate in this area, either at 1,000 or at 500 feet. So they are definitely descending faster than they are allowed to. And they are flying faster as well, as you can tell by the continuous comments from the captain, encouraging the first officer to not use any thrust.
Das lass ich ruhig rein.
Okay, alles klar.
Sagt er, die 100 holen wir wieder rein.
Okay.
200.
Schön runter auf die Threshold. Ja,
Okay.
wunderbar.
Look at how he's talking him down right now.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 8.
So I've just had a look at the descent rates there as well, and looks like between 300 and 200 callouts, they're doing an average of 750 feet a minute, and then from 200 to 100 they're doing 860 feet a minute. But all of those without any thrust. So it would have been very interesting to see where the speed actually was. But actually, regardless of where the speed has been, to me this definitely looks like they busted the landing gate, both in terms of vertical speed and in terms of indicated airspeed. And by today's standards, an approach like this would have been a definite go-around. Now, this has been 2003 or 2004, something like that. Rules might have been different back then. I cannot judge this. So, back in the day when they've done this, it might actually have been very well legal. But by today's standard, in my company at least, if we had continued this approach to landing, it would have been a definite date with the chief pilot, or at least with the base captain. Alright, well, now I know where that saying, Brauchste kein Gas, lass ausschießen, you don't need thrust, just let it glide out, came from. I would say this is actually a high energy approach a la carte. Alright, that shall leave it at today's video. I hope you found this interesting. And if you did, please let me know. And if you do want me to have a look at some of those other approaches that have been filmed by PilotsEye TV or by Just Planes or whatever they're called, if you have any interesting one actually that you would like me to give some commentary on, just let me know and I will see if I can check it out. So, thank you very much for being with me today. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.